The night before my college graduation, I sat alone in my dorm room surrounded by packed boxes and bare walls. 4 years of education, and no one had taught me how to make real friends as an adult. I knew calculus but not how to maintain relationships outside the forced proximity of school. Maybe you felt that educational blind spot too. Most of us learn reading, writing, and arithmetic, but the social curriculum remains largely invisible. These unspoken rules govern our interactions yet remain mysteriously untaught. You're expected to figure them out through trial and error, often painful and public. Think about your education. Did anyone formally teach you how to gracefully exit conversations? Or how to join a group already engaged in discussion? These essential skills get overlooked in traditional education, left for us to stumble through on our own. Research from Harvard University shows that 85% of job success comes from people skills, while only 15% comes from technical knowledge. The skills most vital to our success are the ones least explicitly taught. The absence of social education creates a strange paradox. We're supposedly social creatures who must learn social skills on our own. This sink-or-swim approach leaves many drowning in awkward silences and missed connections. When I talk to friends about this gap, almost everyone has a story about a social situation they bungled because no one taught them the unwritten rules. One friend described spending years at work lunches before realizing he never asked colleagues about themselves. He wondered why connections felt shallow, not knowing he'd missed a fundamental exchange. You probably weren't taught these 7 critical social skills. First, how to gracefully exit conversations. The art of leaving without awkwardness or hurt feelings remains a mystery to many. The best exit involves acknowledging the value of the conversation, offering a genuine reason for departure, and sometimes suggesting future connection. I've really enjoyed hearing about your trip to Italy. I need to check in with my friend before she leaves, but maybe we can continue this later? This provides closure while showing respect. Second, how to navigate group conversations. School taught us to raise our hands before speaking, but adult conversations don't work that way. You must find natural entry points without interrupting, recognize conversational rhythms, and contribute without dominating. This skill develops through practice and observation, watching those who navigate group dynamics effectively. Third, how to handle rejection gracefully. When someone declines your invitation or doesn't reciprocate interest, responding with dignity preserves both your reputation and self-respect. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations that we shouldn't be surprised when fig trees produce figs rather than olives. Similarly, we shouldn't be surprised when others make choices according to their nature, not our desires. Fourth, how to give criticism constructively. Effective criticism focuses on specific behaviors rather than character, includes positive feedback, and offers clear suggestions for improvement. The goal isn't to tear down but to build up. Fifth, how to receive criticism without defensiveness. This might be even harder than giving it. Your instinct when criticized is often to protect your ego with justifications or counterattacks. Learning to pause, listen fully, and consider feedback before responding marks emotional maturity. Sixth, how to build connections beyond superficial small talk. Moving past weather and sports into meaningful territory requires vulnerability and genuine curiosity. Questions like, "What's been keeping you busy lately that you're excited about?" can open doors to deeper connection. Seventh, how to maintain friendships without institutional structure. After school ends, friendships require intentional maintenance. No one teaches you to schedule regular check-ins, remember important details, or make specific rather than vague plans. These skills matter because humans fundamentally need connection. We evolved as social creatures, with our brains wired for belonging. Neuroscience research shows social pain activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Being socially skilled isn't about popularity, it's about health. The good news is that social skills operate like muscles. They strengthen with consistent exercise and proper technique. Unlike height or eye color, social aptitude isn't fixed at birth but develops through practice. The psychologist Albert Bandura demonstrated this through social learning theory. We improve by observing models, attempting behaviors, receiving feedback, and refining our approach. The awkwardness you feel when practicing new social skills isn't failure, it's growth. People strong in social skills often had advantages growing up. Maybe their parents modeled healthy relationships. Perhaps they had siblings close in age who served as practice partners. Or they might have participated in activities that emphasized teamwork and communication. Without those advantages, the learning curve feels steeper. A friend described his childhood as socially isolated, with parents who rarely entertained guests. When he started his career, he felt behind peers who naturally knew how to network and build rapport. He needed to deliberately study what others absorbed through exposure. Think about people you know who navigate social situations with apparent ease. They probably employ specific techniques without realizing it. They maintain comfortable eye contact, ask follow-up questions showing they listened, use names naturally in conversation, and match their energy level to the situation. These seemingly innate abilities actually represent learned skills. The difference between socially adept people and others often comes down to practice rather than talent. This understanding proves liberating. If social skills develop rather than emerge fully formed, you can improve regardless of your starting point. Books like How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie remain popular because they make explicit what others learned implicitly. Some might question whether deliberately developing social skills feels manipulative. There's an important distinction between manipulation and skill development. Manipulation aims to control others for personal gain regardless of their interests. Developing social skills aims to create mutually beneficial connections where everyone feels valued. Consider this perspective shift. Learning to play piano isn't seen as manipulating music but as developing ability to create beauty. Similarly, developing social skills doesn't manipulate people but creates more meaningful human connections. The path to better social skills starts with honest self-assessment. Where do you struggle most? Is it initiating conversations? Maintaining relationships long-term? Making others feel valued? Identify specific areas rather than labeling yourself broadly as awkward or bad with people. Next, find models who excel where you struggle. This might mean observing colleagues who network effectively or friends who maintain vibrant social circles. What specific behaviors make them successful? How do they open conversations, show interest, or navigate difficult topics? Then comes the hardest part, deliberate practice. Social skills improve through application, not just understanding. Each awkward attempt builds neural pathways that eventually make these behaviors feel natural. Remember learning to drive? Initially overwhelming, eventually automatic. Certain frameworks can guide your practice. The psychologist Carl Rogers identified 3 conditions for meaningful connections: empathy, understanding others' perspectives, congruence, authenticity, and unconditional positive regard and basic acceptance of others. When unsure in social situations, returning to these principles provides direction. Recording and reviewing your social interactions mentally helps too. After conversations, ask yourself, what went well? What could improve next time? Without judgment, treating each interaction as data rather than evidence of your worth. The most transformative realization might be that everyone feels social anxiety sometimes. Research shows 85% of people experience self-consciousness during social interactions. The poised person across from you likely battles internal doubts too. Understanding this universal experience creates compassion for yourself and others. The goal isn't perfection but connection despite imperfection. As researcher Brené Brown found in her work on vulnerability, our willingness to be imperfect often creates our deepest connections. Looking back at my post-graduation anxiety, I wish someone had handed me a manual for adult friendships. Now I understand social skills aren't mysterious talents but learnable abilities that improve with practice. The classroom for these lessons exists in every conversation, every awkward pause, every connection formed or missed. The good news? Class is always in session, and it's never too late to learn.